Hello, my name is Bethany Daly, and I had a request to go over how I make the cables in the cabled mug hug pattern, which is right here, maybe familiar to you. I just wanted to show you that I have a little bit of a different way in order to work my cables so that this part, when we do the right cross cable on the 4 stitches, it tends to be loose sometimes when I used to work it. And now I've figured out a way to make it a little tighter on this side so it eliminates that loose loop. So if you'll bear with me, I'll show you how I did that. Okay, on my mug hug that I'm working right here, you can see that I've already gotten a little bit worked and it's coming out nicely. And I am using actually a chunky yarn, number 5, to show you that it can be done on that as well as the number 6 bulky. And right now in the pattern, I am at this part, number 6 on the mug hug pattern, so on the 3rd repeat. So I've done all of this, and then I've repeated this 3 times, and I'm now at this number 6 step here. So what I've done to set up this is the previous row I have knit in this direction in the pattern fairly loosely so that it makes it easier to stretch my cable stitches. And then we're going to slip this first stitch, the turning pegs on each of these in the pattern. And now I'm using the U stitch for my knit stitches and making sure that I pull it back so that it has, it's not a tight tension compared to the regular flat stitch. It's just quicker to work that way. And then we purl. Okay, and now we are at our cable stitches. So I'm going to grab my cable needle and go in order, placing it peg 1 and 2 on the cable needle, and just setting that aside. Now, once again, this is a 4-stitch right cross cable. And I'm going to, what I call walking the stitches over, which is just one at a time, so that it helps ease the tension throughout the loops, so none of them are stretched too tight. I just walk them over, 1 peg at a time. And then, once I have the 3rd peg in where the first peg should have originally was, I just go ahead and knit that off right away so that there's not too much stretch going on that stitch. And then I do the same with the 4th and knit it off. Now right away I just take my working yarn, put it to the front, and I turn my loom around. And then I remember how I put all the stitches on the pointy side? Now I'm going to, so they can work in order, I'm going to take them off all the way around up the other side. I'm going to take this first one off and keep that other one secure on there. And I'm going to stretch it, working on the inside of the loom. I'm going to stretch it using my thumbnail there to open it up, and I put it on the peg. Now keeping the tool right there in the loop. And the reason I do that is so that it's much easier, because it is fairly tight. I'm just going to take my working yarn, wrap it around, and then the tool is already hooked in the loop for me to be able to lift it over right away. Now I'm going to do the same with the next one on the cable needle and pull it over. It is a little bit of a stretch, and I know it's looser working it the other way, but this I found helps eliminate all those loose looking loops once you've finished your cable. So here is, I've kept it inside, and I'm going to knit it off right away. Now, without losing that tightness that I've just built in there, I turn it back around and I purl the next stitch, and then knit off the next 2, and that finishes our cable row. But another hint that I have is that I never let it sit on the cable row. I go ahead and work the next one, sometimes the next 2, so that your stitches aren't stretched in that position for too long, therefore causing it to, want to lose its elasticity and have those big loops. So I'm going to come back and finish the next row in the pattern. So I'm knitting in the cable spots, and then this one is a purl, and then we have 2 knits right there. Alright, so there we've done it, and that puts us, we've just done this one, and then we continued up to here, and we did row 4. So now we need to do 5 and 6, and then we'll be right here ready to do another cable. So I'm going to go